Racks 43 and 44 on the road to 1,000 break and runs. 10 ball, 9-foot table, 4 1/8 inch pockets using a template rack. This is an older video, so my break definitely wasn't as good. I never posted this one prior. I hit them with a lot of power, definitely not much control. Pocketing a couple balls in the break, and I do have a shot on the 1. Definitely not an ideal shot as it's very long, but thankfully the 1 lined up very nicely, and the 2 I can float down for. Shooting the 1 ball. Using dead center high spin around 12 o'clock, now just controlling my speed. I wanted to roll down about another 8 inches or so when I pocket the 2, I can naturally go toward the 3. I did not do this. Now I must shoot the 2 and draw off the long rails you'll see, but I did switch my cue ball. I forgot to do this right after the break, no big deal. I like to protect my new measle ball when I break, so I use my old one. Shooting the 2 ball around 7 to 8 o'clock with a nice stroke to go 1 rail back out toward the middle of the table. I unfortunately did get straight in on the 3. I wanted to leave myself a little bit shorter. I wanted to stop the cue ball sooner, but unfortunately I left myself dead straight on the 3, and right now I'm processing. By processing, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to play position on the 4. Being straight in on the 3, I do notice I can draw straight back with a big draw stroke. 6 o'clock on the cue ball, you'll notice I did not use a ton of power on that stroke. I cued very low on the cue ball and used a nice stroke. You can move the cue ball around with a nice stroke and not power. Getting shape on the 4, basically a stop shot, play the natural angle, bring the cue ball over a few inches. 5 to the 8 is very simple. I use a lot of side spin on this shot here instead of rolling it in. The reason why I use side spin is because I want to come up here above the 8, as you'll see, 1 rail, and you'll see the cue ball come back out and get pretty good on the 8 ball. I did overrun position a little bit, but again, the balls are open and this is doable. Shooting the 8 ball here. This shot required just below center, not very low in the cue ball, just below center with a little bit of power so the cue ball slides before the spin takes off, and leaving myself a shot on the 9 to where I can send the cue ball 1 rail back across table. That's an interesting position shot if you do not know it. It was high right spin on the cue ball, not a big stroke. You have to let the spin take, so around 1 o'clock. Leaving myself this 10 ball shot. That concludes this rack on the road to 1,000 break and runs. If you guys like this stuff, please hit the like button. It only takes a moment. It fuels me to do the videos and practice. I'm really enjoying it. You can share and subscribe as well if you would. And again, here we are on the road to 1,000 break and runs. Rack 44. We're doing some 10 ball here. Getting these older videos out of the way. I did pocket a couple of balls on the break. Either way, I did have a shot on the 1 ball, but the 3 did bump it and make it a little bit nicer. Switching my cue ball as usual to protect the new measle ball. Shooting the 1 ball to play position on the 3, I use a high right spin about 12:30, 1 o'clock and go 1 rail back out. You'll notice if the cue ball kept traveling, I would still have a good shot on the 3. That's why I never drew the cue ball to the rail and crossed the angle on the 3. Now, shooting position from the 3 to the 4. Rolling the 3 ball in with center high spin around 12 o'clock, trying to leave myself a nice angle on the 4 ball. I came up a little bit short on position, but I can still play position for the 5. The next shot is not ideal, but it works. Low spin on the cue ball around 6 o'clock. I drew back between the gap on the 10 and the 5 to leave myself a shot on the 5 ball in the high right corner pocket. Again, this was not ideal, but doable. This was definitely an error if you would have looked at the rack from the very start. Playing position from the 5 to the 6 was a high right spin around 2 o'clock on the cue ball to go 1 rail, 2 rails back out. From the 6 to the 8, you want to be very smooth. It requires a very smooth stroke, drawing the cue ball back down table. That was very low on the cue ball, just a little bit further right spin than 6 o'clock. I actually overstroked this ball. Now I'm in trouble. The 8 does cut in the upper right-hand corner pocket, but I have to send the cue ball around the table. I call the 10 cross side with a combination. We're doing runouts here. We're not playing safes. If I was playing an opponent, I would probably do a little bit different shot here, but this seemed honestly pretty lined up. I also know shooting the combination, I could not scratch from here, and that was a great thing, of course. Firing the combination, bank in, cross side. That concluded this rack on the road to 1,000 break and runs. Guys, thanks for watching, and please check out my sponsors.